All right, we should be going live, but now just kind of hitting YouTube. Give it a few seconds. So we'll just wait for people to start coming in. I just sent out messages on Discord and Facebook and also my email for people to come and attend. So I'm excited tonight. I'm excited to talk to you, David. And I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of value from this. So if you're watching this live, make sure to say hello in the chat. So you'll see the chat on the right-hand side. Just say hello, David, say hello, Russell. Just it's going to be an interesting night. We want to get lots of questions from you guys. I know people are joining right now. You can see you guys starting to come in on the live here. So yeah. So yeah, let's get going. So let's see. People are saying hi. So
how you doing? Yeah, see
people saying hi. So yeah. Hi guys. So I'm going to type back hi guys. I just want to give people enough time to come in because sometimes, like when notifications go out, people are a little bit slow to get in. So I don't want to rush too much into our introduction with David. Some of you guys will already have been talking to David in the Discord. So if you're in Sidekick Traders Discord, you probably already said hello to him. But it'll be an interesting night. So anyway, hey Casey, how's it going? Saying hello. Any questions that we have? Hi guys, some more people saying hello. So yeah, any questions that you have? Any questions? Just post them in the questions, and I'll put them up on the screen so David can see them, and hopefully we can get a bit of a dialogue going because this is a pretty interesting story. So I was scrolling YouTube and I came across David's channel, and I was like, this guy knows what he's doing, but I don't understand, and I should understand because I've been trading the markets for about 10 or 15 years now, but he's using a strategy that I'm not super familiar with, but I know I've heard enough about to know is a real legitimate interesting strategy. So I was like looking at it. So I sent David a message and I'm like, David, how's it going? Would you like to talk a bit more about like what you're doing? Because what David's doing, and he'll explain throughout this whole live stream, is something that is not that well done. Like it's not well known. Like a lot of people are interested in learning more about this. So I thought it'd be the perfect thing to do a joint venture and talk to David and start a Discord and have him send out alerts and all that good stuff for you guys to follow along with. Because I think you'll probably be shocked about how well he's doing with this system. And I'll let David tell you more about exactly what he does and how much he's making doing this. But it's pretty phenomenal. Now, the number one thing that attracted me to this was I like simplicity. I don't want to be following an alert service that just randomly sends out an alert at like 2 p.m. Like this system is amazing in a lot of ways because it's one ticker, so IWM, options on IWM, so either simple calls, simple puts on IWM, and they're coming out at a very well-known time. So within a few minutes of market open, that varies a little bit, but it's an open market open trade system, which is really phenomenal because it like lets you put that time aside, right, for your day. You're like, okay, I'm going to basically put aside market open for 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, sometimes a little longer, depending on the trade. I haven't seen ones that go much longer than that, though. And be like, that's when I'm going to take my trades. David, it looked like you made, and I hope I'm not revealing too much here, but $62,000 in this month alone so far.
Just trading so far this month.
Yeah, just trading those 10 or 15 minutes at market open. I think that's phenomenal. I think it's something that we should celebrate, and it's something that we should talk in detail about tonight. So let's do it. So if you could introduce yourself a little bit, it'd be really interesting to hear.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I'm David. I have been trading since 2017. Back when everybody was talking about Bitcoin and crypto, that was just the talk that I couldn't escape. Even though I'm not a cryptos trader or anything like that, it did pique my interest to the point where I just wanted to take a deeper dive into it. I pretty much started like everyone else starts, reading a lot of trading books and looking at a lot of YouTube. I've took a few courses, some that I paid a lot of money for. But oddly enough, the last course I took actually started my journey to profit, to being more profitable. I lost the first 3 years every month for 3 years. But luckily I wasn't playing with money that I needed, which I don't advise anybody to do, play with mortgage or car notes, anything like that. It was just money that I had set aside that I wanted to make work for me. But it wasn't until my last course that I paid for, which hurts to say, I spent about $5,000 on it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it still hurts. But I actually made that 5,000 back the next month from the course. But I also learned too that it was more geared towards swing trading, and I am not a swing trader whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling of not having control when the market's over. We really don't have control anyway, but to not be able to get out of a trade when the market is out, it wasn't a feeling that I didn't like. It was a feeling that I didn't like. So I knew that I wasn't a swing trader and decided to look more into being more of a scalper or of a day trader.
Right.
And that's kind of how my journey started. It started from a bunch of pain of 3 years to then actually a lot of luck too, because I got lucky and meeting some amazing people. My trading mentor that I still talk to this day, didn't even know that he was married to one of my supervisors from a job I had a long time ago. It came from a Facebook post I was excited about. And then 2 days later, or maybe a week later, my old manager reached out to me and told me about her husband. And that's kind of where it all started. It started from that trading course that I took, that I made the money back, being excited, and then ended up getting an amazing mentor.
That's crazy.
I'm here today because of that. Yeah.
That's crazy. So with the strategy you're currently using on IWM options, how long have you been doing that successfully for, like roughly?
Options since 2020.
Okay,
on the 2020.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you've got a decent several years under your belt, like including COVID, which is crazy.
But crazy, COVID allowed everyone, not just me, but just to sit down and actually focus on it, because there was nowhere we can go. So it really made me take a deeper dive to get into exactly who I am as a trader, what I want to trade, which I end up focusing on all of just basically ETFs, the diamonds, the cubes, Russell, of course, and spiders were the ones that I focused on the most. And then I realized IWM was a cheaper investment, so I just stuck with that.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So Casey just asked exactly that. He said, how did you go about choosing IWM? Well, it sounds like because it's cheaper. The options on the IWM are cheaper. And so, that sounds interesting. And I saw typically about $50 a contract, roughly.
Yeah, I see around 30 to 80, between that 30 and 80 range. Yeah. Typically, you may see, depending on volatility, you may see more, like $1 or maybe $1.05, but for the most part, 30 to 80.
Yeah, so this isn't a strategy that requires you to have a lot of money. In David's case, he's obviously trading big lot sizes from what we've been talking about, but you can do this with a few $1,000s pretty easily, because we're only talking 50 to $100 per contract.
It took me some time to get to that point. So yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to start small. I mean, just because I start with a large lot size, I would recommend at least 2, maybe 4 to start off with, especially if you're learning. If it's your first time with market profile and order flow, with any strategy, really, I would definitely start small.
Yeah, we're going to talk about market order and, well, what's it called? Market profile and order flow.
Market profile and order flow.
See, I'm a fairly seasoned trader, and I still haven't really done any of this stuff, so it's still fairly new to me. So hopefully my questions will answer a lot of the audience questions in this conversation as well, because for me, I'm mainly a technical trader, so it's usually just simple technicals, whereas you're really looking at something quite different. So we should probably talk a little bit about what you're actually looking at and why, like the psychology behind it, and why you think it actually works better, or at least for you, it's been doing better than a lot of other, just simple technical analysis by itself.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sorry. I don't know if you cut off a little bit, you're a little frozen. But yeah, I can talk about how I approach the market. I would say the best advice I received from my mentor was how to approach the market. Just think of the way I look at it is I think of the market as a box store, and everything that's inside of that store is all the items that I can trade, right? So I keep it as simple as that, just like everyday life. So for the example that I always use is, say if you are going into a place like Walmart or Target or something like that, and you are in the market for a television, say a Samsung television, and you walk into the Samsung and you walk into the Walmart store and you see a Samsung that you like, and the advertised price is $1,000, right? And you see that price, you like it, you like the TV, that's the TV you want, but you don't necessarily think that Samsung television is worth $1,000, right? So if you don't think and you think it's worth $1,000, you won't pay for it. Well, if you get enough people to feel the same way, then the store won't sell that television for $1,000. So what does the store have to do? They have to lower prices to make it more attractive, right? So say you leave the store and you come back a week later, and that same Samsung television is now selling for $500, right? And then you're thinking, well, that's a great price. I think it's worth $500. Then you're going to purchase that television. Well, if you get enough people to purchase that television at $500, then more units or more television are going to be sold from that box store. And then the box store is going to start testing prices, right? So then if people are buying it at $500, they're going to raise price to $600. They're going to buy it at $600. If more people buying it at $600, they're going to raise $700, $800, $900, and so on until the buying slows down. And then once the buying slows down, then the process repeats. So that's how I approach the market. I look at it as the market itself is the store, and all the items inside of the store are items that I can trade. And it doesn't matter if you're in the market, like I used the example for a television, you use an iPhone, or you could look at real estate if you're in the market for a home, and say if a home is that you really like is selling for $500,000, you love it, you love all the interior, the exterior, everything is fitting right, but you don't think it's worth $500. You get enough people to feel that way, then the person who's selling the real estate or the home is going to have to drop prices. So it's the same. That's how I approach the market.
Yeah. It makes sense. So graphically, you're using charts to do that, basically. So and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about in a sec. Yeah. So it's definitely interesting. So the psychology is there, but then the charting and people actually taking action on the trades is something completely different, right? Because it's definitely more complex. So how about we look at one of the charts you sent me, and we can talk through it, and you can explain it to me, because I have no idea what I'm looking at. So I'm going to put it up on the screen right now, zoom in so that you guys can see it. So earlier David sent me this, and he said this is something we should talk about. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry you cut out a little bit there too, but so what you're seeing is a market profile. So from left to right, each profile that you're seeing is representing one day, right? Each profile itself is broken down into 30-minute time frame. So you're looking at a market profile in the standard shape. There's two different ways to look at it. It's the standard way you're looking at it right now, and then there's also a split. But the standard way basically gives you the same as the split. It gives you not only price movement, but it also gives you value. So if you look at the profile at the very top with the arrows, this is representing one day. I'm not sure what day this is, but this is representing one day. Like I said, broke it down in 30 minutes. So there's a yellow box at the bottom of that profile that represents the open, right? And then right where that arrow is, there's a red box that represents the close. Okay. So also in that profile, you're seeing is like a bluish shade color between two lines, right? So where that, I don't have my cursor, but where the arrow is pointing to that red box, there's a line right under that. That's called value low.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Right there.
Yeah.
And then the line above that, two above, is the value high. So the one above that. So in between those two lines is in between those two lines represents the value of trade that day, right? So if you go back to the profile that's at the bottom to the left, you can see that value from the first, that one right there. And then if you go back up to the one with the arrows, you can see that value has gone up. So the profile not only gives you price movement, but it also gives you value. So it kind of goes back to that example I was talking about with the Samsung television, if you can imagine this profile is a Samsung television, or trading Samsung, you can see that value has gone up, right, from the one to the bottom left all the way up to the one with the arrows pointed to it.
Yeah.
But you can also see that price actually dropped. So even though value has gone up, there are other participants in the market who are not willing to pay those high prices. So that's why the very top of that profile is represented as, so the whole thing represents price movement for that day, right? So the very top of that profile is the very high of price, and the very bottom of that profile is very low.
If you'd like to join, this is the sort of thing you can learn, or you can just let David do it, which is what my plan is to let David do
it. You could definitely learn it, and I've gone into detail in some of my YouTube videos too. But you could definitely learn it. It's a strategy, a way. It's just a different way of thinking of the market. To me, it's no different than you going into any store, whether, like I said, Walmart or Target or even McDonald's or whatever the case may be, and you're buying an item from those places. You are the consumer, so you are the one that determines if whatever that item you're purchasing is worth that price or not. And if you get enough people to think the same way, you will see how price moves, or why price will move from up or down to up. So with
this
the profile,
is an example of selling, right?
Yep. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I was just saying, this is an example of when you want to sell, so you don't.
Yeah. So this basically is an example of a shift, right? So the top profile where you're seeing the arrows is the shift, right? So from the profile to the bottom left, all the way to the profile where you have the arrows, you're seeing value and price go up, right? And then there's a shift. So even though the value has gone up, price or other participants, for a better example, other people in the market for this item are not willing to pay those high prices. So price went up and then it fell. So then when you go over to the far, there you go to the one. Yep, you go to the far, that one right there. When price went back into that area, all the way up to the very top of that profile, you know what other participants have done in those price points. Other participants, or other people, I should say, in the market, who were in the market for IWM, or if you want to use the television, for example, were not willing to pay those high prices. So it allows you to pre-plan your trades before the market even opens, before cash opens, because you get to see what other people who were in the market for IWM, what prices were they willing to pay for, to buy or not. So that day when you have your purchase at, that was a way to plan for it before the market even opened, to know at this price point, at this price tag, wherever that price tag is, I'm not sure, other participants were not willing to pay those high prices.
Right. So the work you're doing is pre-market. I noticed, like 15 minutes before market opens, you're starting to look at these types of plots and start to figure out like what could happen at cash open, which is pretty interesting. So let's have a look at
I have a structured set plan that I don't deviate from it. To have a structured plan to come into the market is key. It's like when you go to work at any job, you want to plan your day out before you execute. So I definitely execute, or plan it out, I should say, before executing. So before the market even opens, before cash open, I know which direction I want to go into just by seeing what other participants have done. And then once we get over the order flow, which I don't know if I gave you an example of, then I just want to see that happening in real time.
Okay, cool. I think my internet's a bit slow tonight, but I put up a question. So Antu's saying, what does the thick black bar mean? Is that from the previous one?
Yeah, so that's point of control. So that's basically telling you where buyers and sellers agreed on price the most. So there's three lines, right? So if you look at, exactly. So each profile has 3 lines. So that big black bar is the point of control. The one right above that is called value high. That's the high of where buyers and sellers agreed on price the most, value. And then the one below that is called value low. That's the lowest of the value, or very low of value, that was determined by buyers and sellers. And then the very top of the profile is called the extreme high, and the very lowest point of that profile is called the extreme low.
Okay. Okay, cool. So how many of you guys are watching this have seen charts that look like this before, or even used these? Because I certainly haven't. So I'm curious to see what you guys are thinking about this right now. Let's see what.
That's very surprising to hear that a lot of people have never heard of it, because it's a very neat way to put together or package the transactions that happened that day. Like I said, this is the standard way of looking at it, but if you split it, you can really see each period or each 30-minute period and then movement behind it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're getting some responses. Bill C says he's familiar. Casey says I have seen them before. So
so you cut out a little bit. I'm not sure if you're still speaking, Russell. Oh, there you go. It looks like you came back. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, sorry, my internet's kind of flaky tonight, I think. So let's have a look. So some of the questions are, does David...
You cut out again. I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
Oh, no.
I heard something about a Discord.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, can you hear me now okay?
Yep, I can hear you better now. Yes.
It's my internet. I can see it going on and off. It's really annoying. Anyway, I was saying, David, Casey...
Okay. Do I have a course? No, I don't have a course. I don't sell a course. To be honest with you, all of the traders that I've met, the ones that are really successful, they do not sell courses. But I do one-on-ones. I am actually currently doing one-on-one teaching or mentorships on Thursday and Fridays between 8 and 9 Eastern. I am exploring maybe doing a small group also. A lot of professional traders that you will meet, if you're lucky enough to meet some, a lot of them will gatekeep information, but you will meet some that are willing to at least do one-on-ones with you. A lot of the traders that I've met too will, it really depends on how serious you are. You got to make sure you're not wasting your time. But I do one-on-ones for sure.
Tommy's asking why trade IWM instead of Qs. That's the price, right? Was kind of the answer for that one.
Yeah, it was just the option price. I definitely, when I first started, it was always ETFs. I didn't trade anything else but ETFs. And it was just the investment, how much our IWM was the less investment. So I just chose to stick with it.
Okay, cool. Another question. Antu's saying, so if the price breaks the value high, are you thinking of doing puts? And if the price breaks value low, are you thinking of doing calls?
Essentially, one of the pieces of information that we didn't put in here is economic news. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the small caps, but small caps move on economic news, small businesses. So things like PPI, CPI, jobless could sometimes or a lot of times be the catalyst to drive market up or down. But if there's no news to report, then essentially, yes, I am looking to fade the market if it's at a value high or extreme high, or buy the market if it's extreme low or value low.
Very cool.
Or a weekly high or weekly low. As you can see in the chart too, there's a weekly value low and a weekly extreme low. So the charts that I look at monthly TPO or market profile charts like you see here, weekly, and what you see here is a daily. So each one represents a day, but you can also switch it to have it represent a week or a month.
Nice.
But essentially, yes, that's what I look for. Yeah.
So it's fantastic. And for people that are just looking to join the Discord, basically you're going to be giving out these alerts plus the stuff pre-market that you talk about, some of exactly what we're talking about here. So it's not necessary to learn the exact details right now of exactly how David's doing this, because it changes day to day, right? Like you might have a day where there's something coming out that's pretty important and you'll have to hold it.
Yeah, absolutely. News, especially with small caps. Russell 2000, anyone who's, I'm sorry, you're cutting out. So hopefully I'm not cutting in and interrupting what you're saying. But to answer that question, yeah, I mean, definitely small caps can they are susceptible to news. So any good news, you will see that to be possibly the catalyst to drive the market higher, and vice versa if it's bad.
Yeah, it seems like my internet keeps cutting out for some reason. Is it any good at the moment?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly now. Yeah.
Okay. It keeps cutting out, like it'll just switch off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I can see the questions coming in. I see one that's saying, what platform does David use? So for my charting, I use a web-based platform called GoCharting. I love it because I can take it anywhere. As long as I know I have internet, I can log into it. And it basically gives what you see in front of you for free. And actually, I've never ran across any platforms that charge for market profile. Every platform that I've seen will give market profile for free. But what most platforms will charge you for is the order flow, because that's a paid service, and that's not up here. But that's the ability to look inside the candles and see at what price point other participants are interested in or not interested in. But this, what you see in front of you can get pretty much from any platform for free. Like I said, I haven't seen one that charges yet.
Yeah, for sure. And so people are already asking, do you have a Discord? And so we just launched a new Discord. I posted the link in the chat. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's for IWM alerts. So that's where the alerts are happening. They are daily. The last probably 2 weeks or so, I've been kind of watching what you've been doing, but haven't taken any trades yet. I'm probably going to take some pretty soon though, because you've had such an amazing track record the last few weeks that it's been pretty incredible to see.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Yeah, I mean, but I do want to strongly say though, just because I'm having a great start to the year, I do take losses. I don't know of anybody that doesn't, and if you run across anybody that say they're 100% win rate, that's a red flag. Because I would tell you now, the bigger players, the banks, the hedge funds, the bigger prop firms, they all take losses occasionally. I do as well. I'm just off to an amazing start of the year.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I need to knock on wood.
Yeah, should we show them some of the Discord? Show them kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can try and share my screen. As long as my internet cooperates, I should be able to share my screen for the Discord, hopefully. So
while you're doing that, can I answer the question of, do I trade every day?
Yeah, go for it. Just answer whatever you see. Yeah.
I try to trade every single day I can. Now, there are days like where I have an appointment and I can't, or if I'm interrupted, which I close my door, I lock my door, and everyone knows if my door is closed and locked, it needs to be important. But I try my best to trade every day, unless I see something I just don't like, if I'm not interested in, depending on what prices are opening. There are times where I'm not feeling it. Actually, I had one this week where I wasn't 100% sure. So I played with a much smaller lot size. It worked out in my favor, but there are times when I just say, you know what, I'm gonna watch it today. I'm gonna be a spectator.
Cool, yeah. Looks like Salem's already asking for an annual or lifetime option. So the Discord is on the screen now. This is the complete launch of the Discord. So this is going to be a huge Discord. I mean, this is phenomenal what David's doing here. And you can see some of the screenshots as I scroll through here. Like just the other day, so yesterday, we can zoom in here. Yeah. He was taking trades, and you can see post his profit loss with screenshots. This is the main alerts channel, and there's so much to go through here. You'll see, like, this is kind of what we were showing earlier, like these types of plots.
And that's the split version too. I'm sorry, I mean cut you off. That's the split. No, saying that there's two different ways to look at it. That's actually the split way of looking at it. You can see each profile line A, B, C through M represents 30 minutes of each day.
Yeah.
So sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, it's cool. It's important to know that you don't actually have to know this to join the Discord. This is the stuff that you'll get alerts on when he actually buys. But he also keeps a commentary, which is really good because a lot of people just don't tell you their secret sauce. So don't be put off if this seems complicated. I know it does to me. Maybe I'm just not that smart with this stuff. But
some of the stuff seems overcomplicated. I wanted to point out something as you were scrolling. If you go up just a little bit, so that is the order flow that I was talking about. That is essentially a standard candlestick, but it allows you to see inside of the candle. So the way I have it set is I want to see volume, right? Because we all know the bigger players, they can hide their orders, but what they can't hide is volume, right? So you can set it to whatever you want to look at. If you want to look at bid and ask or volume like I do, but I think it just makes sense to look at the volume or lack thereof, because we all know what they can or can't hide, and they can't hide volume, right? So that's telling me not only when the bigger players are coming in, but also at which price point they are not interested in. So if you put the profile together with order flow, it really helps you understand possible direction.
Yeah. And this is pre-market. This is 15 minutes before the market opens. So this is to give people an example of what to expect. So this is 15 minutes is the sort of commentary you get in the IWM Alerts Discord. So you start to get these types of things, and you can ask David, like, what's going on? What do you mean by that? Blah, blah, blah. And then you can see as the time goes on here, this is still pre-market. You're getting more information from David on this stuff. So you can see here. And then here we go is when you really care. This is 1 minute after market open, and the alert is very simple. It's 0 DTE, 228 puts at $33 per contract. That's not $33 on your screen. That's actual $33 realized, so 0.33, right, on the actual thing, not 33.
Yeah, so options is it goes by cents, but because options you are borrowing 100 contracts, you have to times it by 100. So if it was 33, then 3, then so on. You have to times it by 100. So
yeah, and you have a strategy where you take 75% off fairly quickly within a few minutes usually, and then let 25% ride. That seems to be kind of your thing, right?
Yeah, I actually that was a strategy that was given to me or suggested to me by actually one of my mentees. He thought it would be better math or a better risk reward if you take more off at your halfway point. And I really dug into that, and I thought it was great advice. So I ended up taking that advice about a year ago. So what I do, just for context, is I'm looking for $20 profit per contract. That is my goal. But the advice that I've always received was to take profit as early and often as you can. So my goal is to make $20 per contract, but I take some money off the table at the halfway point at $10 a contract, a profit per contract. And then I move my stop to about 2 cents more of my fill price. So say if my fill price was $50 per contract, once I get my halfway point, I lock that in by moving my stop to 52. So that way it pays for my commission fees as well. And then I just let the other 25% ride to the 20. The full goal, which is 20 cents or $20 per contract. That's the strategy that was given to me as far as taking profit as early as possible by my mentor, and that is I would say probably one of the keys as to why I am consistent, because I take at least 75% off at my halfway goal. I will tell you, IWM, if you are on the right side of it, will give you 15 to 20 cents of times 100, $15 to $20 of profit, no problem, easily. So knowing that, I try to at least get $10 off the table times how many contracts you purchase.
Yeah. So this might be a little personal, but what sort of trading account size are you using to make these types of gains? So I'm looking at one here where in 10 minutes here that the market opened, it was the start of this week, you made $6,000 doing these alerts that people could have followed fairly closely. I saw one guy did actually do pretty well. But this one, these numbers are huge. Are you using a $50,000 account, $1 million account? What sort of size? Just roughly on average. Like I don't need to know the exact number, but are you six figures, 7 figures?
Definitely 50. You have to play that high of a lot size for sure. But the lot size really depends on volatility. I want to see, I don't know if you guys, but volatility, anything over 20 is considered that their market would be emotional. Anything below that is a calmer, stable market. So it really depends on the volatility of that day. If I see it's calm, then I would normally play, I would say roughly between 400 to 500 contracts. And I'm saying that because it took me some time to get there.
Yeah, you build up.
It took me years to get there. Yeah. But roughly 400 to 500 contracts. And that really depends on volatility. And I would tell you, like I had the play this week, and I forget what day it was, where I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't play with nearly as much contracts. So it really depends on what I'm seeing and volatility for sure.
Interesting, yeah. So a few more questions coming in. Bill C saying, if you take profit at 20 cents, what is your stop loss? What is your win-loss rate and how many trades? That's a good question. I'm curious about what your win-loss rate is and all these types of numbers, just roughly.
Yeah, well, I would say the win-loss rate, to be completely, just is how I feel, it's not as important. And I'm saying it's not as important because it could be manipulated. The win-loss rate stat, I would say more importantly, is the stat to really be focused on. I would say the most is the consistency rate. But just to say what my stop loss is, I'm a 101, right? So the same amount of money I'm willing to risk is the same amount of money I'm willing to lose. So I am 20 cent on the back end, 20 cent on the front end. But I will say also with IWM, and you may see this with others, and you have to really pay attention to what you're trading. IWM 20 cent is enough wiggle room, I would say, to allow the play to work out. Anything past that, it just didn't work out that day. Because we all know it's very hard to catch very tops and bottoms of plays unless you have insider knowledge. You don't know exactly when to hit it. You just can see it in the order flow when it's time. But in the 4 or 5 years that I've focused only on IWM, a 20 cent stop will give it enough room to work out. I would also say too, I have gotten all the way just recently. My stop was almost hit. I got to about 5 cents away from my stop before it worked out. So I was sweating a little bit, but just in my experience with IWM, 20 cent gives it plenty of room to work out.
All right, we're getting hit with more questions here. So Casey's saying, is David using a trade copier and funded account to achieve these profit mints? Not at all. I mean, this is just
not
you.
At all. Not at all.
No, you're not.
No, this is gain profit along with like I said, I had a bunch of money that I had saved, and we all know what banks do with your money, right? They use your money to make money. So I just figured money was just sitting there. So I just wanted to give it a chance to see if I can use that money to make money. Like I said, it took me 3 years of hurting and pain to achieve it. But I don't use prop firms, or I'm not part of any funded accounts at all.
And Art's asking, can I trade futures instead of the options? That's interesting because there is futures on IWM.
There's futures options too as well. I'm not too familiar with how it works out, but there are options, I believe, in the futures market. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's like RDY for IWM, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
So you could trade, and I actually looked into this a little bit, and you could actually trade the futures on this stuff. They follow it's very similar.
Very simple, and it all creates a profile. Everything that trades creates a profile, even crypto.
More good questions. So we have one: do you use market orders or limit orders? Because we're worried about how easy it is to follow and copy since this is 0 DTE and things move fast. It's a good question. So let's delve into that aspect of things.
I am 100% market order. And the reason I don't do limit orders because I have missed a lot of opportunities when the options price just didn't hit my limit order that I set for a bracket. So I do bracket orders, and with limit you can set the price you want to pay. I've missed a lot of opportunities, a lot of frustrating moments. So when I see an opportunity, I jump in with the market order.
Yeah. Roughly how long are you in trades for? I've been trying to gauge that recently, but I haven't figured
it's
it out.
Quick.
Is it 10 minutes or 5 minutes?
No, it can be quick. I mean, I've been in trades for, I would say 5-10 minutes before, but with IWM, like I said, it will give you that at least $15 to $20 profit very quickly, especially if you're on the right side of it, obviously, but it gives you that with no problem. Yeah.
The next thing is you're giving people such a good commentary in some of your posts here that they should be able to do the trade without actually waiting for your exact alert, right? So you know, you're giving them such a commentary that they should know what's going to happen, you know, because you're giving them, you know, here, for example, we're starting to see price go higher with little to no interest. This was 15 minutes before the market opened, so people should be immediately thinking, well, this is bearish, right? Like this is not going to be
absolutely
good.
And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I mean, everything that and it's actually pretty easy. I was concerned on how to convey my thoughts to Discord, but it's actually the exact same thing that I put in my notebook in the morning when I analyze the market. So everything you see in here, obviously minus the screenshots, is what I put in my trading journal or my trading notebook as I'm analyzing before cash open.
Cool. More questions coming in. You're a popular guy tonight. I thought you would. Do you trade IWM swing at all based on POC at the close of the day? I don't think you do, right? You just do the day trade.
No. I would tell you a story why I don't swing trade. So I did a course that I think I mentioned that I made. I spent $5,000 on it, and I made the $5,000 back the next month. So, and that was swing trading. So one trade I was up, Russell. I was up 5,000. And it hurts me to say this. I was up 5,000 for the day, and this is before I start taking money off the table or before I knew anything about taking half profit, whatever. So I let the play run. The next day, I was, like I said, I was up 5,000. The next day, I was down 1,000. And it was no way for me to get out of it, even if I looked at it, post market. So that was the reason. That very moment was the reason why, or the reason why I switched from a swing trader to a scalper, and the reason why I do not swing trade. Okay. I don't knock anybody that do it, but in a market where you don't really have much control, I at least want to be able to get out of it when I want to, and that's why I don't swing trade.
Interesting. So yeah, okay. Mark Sanchez is asking, do you ever look at heavy gamma levels in addition to the profile for support resistance?
No. If gamma, if you're thinking, if we're talking about options, the only thing I care about is the delta. I want to see delta at least 30 or above, because that anything above 30 or above, you know that you're going to be in profit pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
And that's generally no, and that's generally slightly out of the market too, when you think about it.
So Casey's asking, if David is jumping in with 400 to 500 contracts, is the market already moving at least halfway to his target before I get in? So it's a good question. How are you finding? I noticed in the Discord we have a couple of members already. This is still the launch period right now, where this is the launch tonight. We have a couple of members though, and one guy already made some money from your alert. So from the put alert the other day. So it's not like the whole move's gone. Like, can you give us kind of a feel, like, or how quickly are these things moving? Or do you think of other people firing market orders at the same time that you send out these alerts on Discord? And you talked about maybe even doing a voice chat on this, like maybe doing it like to speed things up, because people are always worried that the person sending out the alerts is going to make all the money, and they're going to get in halfway through the move and only get half the profits, which is still good, which is still really good. If you only get half the profits, still good. But I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that. We haven't really talked about that much in detail.
Yeah, that lag time, I understand. So that's why I definitely want to explore doing the voice instead of the typing, because actually typing, it kind of takes away from my focus. But I will. So in the Discord, I do put in my watch list. So I normally have about 3 or 4 in my watch list. And the example of, I think it was Friday, I had about 3 in my watch list. And I would say, even before cash open, I would say, hey, I'm really focusing on the 227 puts, even though I have 228s and 229s. I would say 227s, from where we are price wise, this is the one I'm looking to get into. And then soon as I hit the button, I know that's a delay. Soon as I hit it to get in, then I hit the button on my Discord as well. So I have it pre-typed. I did that for Thursday and Friday. I had it pre-typed. This is the one I want to get into, and I'm getting into it right now. As soon as I get in on my end, then I hit the enter button on Discord. But definitely the voice is going to be a lot better, and I'm definitely going to explore doing that for sure.
Yeah, I encourage it, and I'll help you learn how to do that if you're not sure how to do it on Discord. Please, at the moment, we can't promise that we'll do it, but if David's open to it, I can easily show him how to do this voice alerts at the market open. At the moment, we haven't been doing that. Like you can see from the stream, it's just been text. But if you guys would really find that helpful, and I think it is helpful, then we can definitely explore that as an option. It's very easy to do on Discord, as you guys that are Discord fanatics know. It's easy to go live and do just a voice or even a screen share.
Yeah, I'm very new to this.
So yeah. Yeah, it's very easy to do, which is nice. So we are planning to add that, at least as long as David's okay with it. I think it would be a really amazing addition to the Discord. But at the moment, the last week or two, we've been sort of pre-planning this launch of this Discord. We haven't actually been doing that. But going forward, we could, as long as David's okay with it, obviously, because he's the one in charge here. So, do you always trade from the watch list? Yeah, you always take one of the contracts that you're talking about. You generally don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it comes from my pre-planning pre-market. I know, at least I have a good idea of which direction. So it allows me to pre-plan. So I put in, like I said, 3 to 4 options in my watch list. So I'm able to scroll through whatever. So whatever price, maybe the price at the time that I put put together my watch list was at 227, for example, and it jumped to 228. I can easily switch to 228. So definitely from my watch list. That's where I plan my orders.
Yeah. So basically, in this Discord, you learn how to do these trades, but more importantly, you get them spoon-fed to you as well, which is always fantastic. Tonight, we have currently 2 full-paying members, which is good considering we've never unveiled this before, and we just partnered just a few weeks ago. And Dave and I are still getting to know each other, and we're excited to go forward with this. So is there any questions on pricing and things? I already posted the link for the quarterly subscription. So we're encouraging people to take quarterly subscriptions to this, because it does take you a while to kind of get into the groove of things, maybe paper trade for a few weeks. You can do a monthly. I can post a monthly link if you just are really nervous about it. I'll post a monthly link. You can do like 1 month. I'd suggest signing up for the 3-month link, just because that'll give you plenty of time to get into the swing of things. We'll get all the bugs ironed out in terms of making sure that you guys have voice alerts, if that's how David wants to go. So that it'll be voice alerts for when he's entering trades, if things are a little bit laggy or whatever, which is always a really nice feature to have. So I wouldn't want you to do like 1 month and then David starts doing voice alerts and everything's like fantastic, and you've already given up on it because you thought you were only getting half the profits or whatever. So, so before we go any further, there's still questions coming in. I just want to make sure that before people start leaving, that I post the quarterly subscription again. So in the chat, and if you're watching the replay, this will be in the description below. Here is the link. So in the chat, I'm posting it now. That's to the landing page, which is the quarterly subscription. So make sure you check that out before you guys get bored tonight and leave. There's still tons of questions coming in, so we could be here for a while yet. So I just want to make sure you guys at least have that link. You know where to message me as well if you want to try the monthly and you don't see it in the chat or in the description. I'm not super keen on monthlies just because a month's not that long, right? Like it's really not that long, and things can change a lot in a month. You can have a bad week or two, and then it puts people off, and they quit, and they never come back. Or you can have a great month, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So monthly.
Oh, it sounds like you cut out again. But
let's get back to some of the questions here. So, yeah, loads of questions come in, and here's one. Do you take ATM, ITM, or out of the money options for these 0 DTE contracts? Good question.
Yeah, great question. I definitely slightly out of the money because that's the 30 delta. Like I said, anything, if you see anything just above maybe 2 contracts out of the money, you'll see lower delta. So again, slightly out of the money will give you a 30 delta or above. Those are the ones will move price for you. And adversely too, when it's going against you, it would actually go against you slower. So little tip there. Definitely do slightly out of the money. If you do in the money, you're paying for that premium, so you're gonna get a less profit, I should say. So slightly out of the money because you want to let it build from 30 to 50. That's the way to go.
Okay, we have lots of questions coming in. So Chuck saying, do you do single options or spreads? It's absolutely single options. So calls
single.
Or
I do not mess with that. Was it contour and all that stuff? That's way too complicated for me. I just want to buy
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I'm just single options. I just want to get in, make my money, get out. I don't care about that other stuff. Hedging is good though if you can hedge. But that's a more complicated strategy. If you guys don't know by now, my whole approach to the market is very simplistic.
Yeah, so Yak's asking for a free trial. We just gave people a free trial. We gave a bunch of people from my Discord, Sidekick Traders. If you want a trial, I'm always reluctant to do trials because usually it just ends up in the person who's given the alerts getting bombarded by them. So I don't really like to encourage free.
Hey Russell, you cut out of there a little bit.
Oh yeah, so can you still hear me now?
I can hear you now. It sounds like that towards the end of your sentence, you're cutting out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there's no free trials. We're not running free. Some people in to check it out. You can see what's on the screen. We've gone through this stuff. If you join for a free trial, the problem is that the number of questions that get asked to the person who's given the alert time, right? So we can't get free trials based on that. We've already seen the number of questions David's getting from people in my other Discords that it just can't do it. It's just too much. It's not fair for David. He's got better things.
Hey, Russell, you're cutting out a little bit, so I don't know. Your whole complete sentence is not coming through. So I don't know.
Okay. Do you want to just quickly? Okay, I should be back now. I keep seeing my internet cutting out. This is really annoying. I don't know why it's doing that, but you can hear me now fine though, right?
Right now, at the moment, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully you got the idea though about free trials. We're not really doing free trials for this stuff because it's just too much hassle for you. I wouldn't want to be in that position.
Great questions are coming in though. I'm really I like a lot of these questions because they're really legit questions. Like the OCO orders, I definitely do bracket orders. I have as I said earlier, I do have a 2 profit target, $10 and $20, and then I have my stop. So all of that is. I have it set up. I use Thinkorswim. A lot of people do, and Thinkorswim, especially the desktop version, it allows you to put in your order specifically how you want it as a bracket. So whenever I hit the button to get in, it'll automatically calculate my halfway goal, which is the $10. The 20 is the full, and it also puts in my stop without me having to do anything extra. So makes my trading car a lot faster.
Casey's asking if you'll have another. Not really. Wouldn't see the point.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out. Will I have another?
The main Discord.
I was trying to look at another Discord. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the question. I don't see it on the chat.
Saying, does David do another Discord shares? So this is the Discord we're launching together, but he would also probably do coaching by himself. It seems like.
Yeah, and I do that for only, well, not say only, but just people that I've known who were interested, that was extremely interested. I just offer that really as a way to give back to how it was given to me, because my mentor actually taught me or became my mentor for free. I only had to pay for his lunch when we met in person. So that's just my way of giving back. Like I said, I've been very lucky in meeting people in the trading community, especially my mentor. Like I said, who trained me and still talk to me, and he still helps me out a lot when my psychology of trading, and it's just my way of giving back. So that's why I do one-on-ones. I am open to do more with other people. It's just right now I have my Thursdays and my Fridays all booked up.
Okay. Can you hear me okay, or?
Yeah, I can hear you actually pretty well now. Yep.
Okay, cool. I can never tell because my internet is doing that stupid thing where it's going in and out, so it'll cut off for me. You see some of the other questions coming in. There's just so many of them here.
Yeah, let's see.
Want to in the chat here, I'll put them in the description below for replays as well.
What state am I
in?
So
a lot of questions.
Yeah, just I'm on the East Coast.
You ever close out your manual? So yeah, are you just reading them here? Jeff Strum saying this one. Do you ever close out manually early?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I flatten them out early. There are times, like actually, for example, just, and I don't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day that I made a smaller profit. I just, like at the beginning, I just wasn't 100% sure anyway, even though it did work out and I played with a smaller lot size, I decided to flatten it pretty early just because I felt like I wasn't 100% sure. And I made some profit, so let me just take some profit and be okay for that day and live to fight another day. So there are times, when I flatten it. If I see in the order flow or the order book, order flow, that just the interest in prices are just not there, and you can pretty much anticipate a reversal potentially or take profits. Most take profit can reverse sometimes or cause a reversal. So when you see like a first sign of resistance, whether let's say you enter the play above a value high, right at the value high, if you trade it down, can be your first sign of resistance. You may see other people take profits there too. Those are times where I just take the profit and run. But for the most part, it's the 10 cent or the $10 and the $20 profit normally hits pretty well, or pretty often.
Nice. So more questions. Is the strategy scalable? How much can you deploy? Well, David's deploying a fair amount, not a huge amount though. I mean, 20 grand at a time is not hedge fund level,
No.
It's decent.
Yeah, I don't want to make anybody. I don't want anybody to assume that I am on that. Or I'm playing with like millions. No. My account. It depends on your account size, right? And I would suggest anybody to start small. Definitely multiple contracts because you want to get into the habit of taking profit early. So I would suggest at least 4 contracts to start off, so where you can take at least 50% off at your halfway mark and then let the other run. Sometimes that second half will run crazy and it provides you with more profit. So yeah, definitely start small, and you'll play regarding based on your account size, I would say.
If this guy though, if he had $1 million or $10 million, like, does it start to become a problem with liquidity or anything, or do you think it's still fine because it's IWM?
Yeah, I mean, it'll become a problem. Well, depending on your broker, because what they would do was, well, ask you, are you sure? I actually had to call because I actually had to call, which is now Suave. It was TD Ameritrade. I actually had to call them and say, listen, this is the order size or the lot size I want to play. Please stop sending me "Am I sure?" alerts. So it depends on your size. They will ask you just as a protection to yourself, to protect yourself. Are you sure you want to play? Is this not a mistake? Right.
Yeah. But in terms of actual numbers, I mean, if you're doing say 20,000, like 100,000 wouldn't be that big of a deal once they get past those hurdles with their broker, right? They would just be able to be like, hey, stop it. I'm fine with 100K per position. It's not like there's anything physical stopping them apart from brokers warning them, which is really strange.
The broker will definitely warn you as a protection. They will warn you if just to make sure it's not a mistake.
Yeah. But apart from that, the liquidity is there with those options, though, right? It's not like it's.
I've never seen an issue. Never seen an issue at all. I mean, the spreads. I don't know if anybody asked about the spread, but IWM spread at the most I've seen is probably a 4 cent spread. Sometimes you'll see a great one, like a 1 or 2 cent, really depend on volatility, obviously. And then I've seen spreads that were like 50 cent, which is obviously a high volatility day. And those are days you definitely don't want to play anyway when there's so much emotion in the market. But yeah, for the most part, liquidity is there. You should be no problem with profit. Getting it pretty fast as well.
Yeah. Joseph is saying, are you buying or selling? It's all buying calls and puts. It's not sell side stuff at all. So it's all just straightforward stuff. So
I've actually never attempted to sell a call. So I'll sell an option.
No. QQQ, will you share your Discord link?
Yeah. I think Russ, I think we've done it a few times, but yeah, for sure.
A couple of times. I'll share it again. Mm-hmm. You can do a quarterly or a monthly. The top one here gives you more information about the service a little bit. So it's like a proper landing page, whereas the bottom one's just a launch pass, like monthly thing. Either works, whichever you want. If you want to do an annual or even a lifetime, just send me a message and I'll talk to David and we can come up with a number that everybody's happy with for the stuff. I know some people like one-time fees or annual subscriptions or whatever, so we can figure that out.
I don't like to deal with things monthly if I can help it. So I'm definitely one of those people.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that. So I've had a few questions. Can we do like an annual or a lifetime even? Anyway, more questions. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. She's asking, what percentage of your account do you use for your daily trades? That's a good question. Never thought to ask you that.
Yeah. It's not really so much about the percentage of the account. It's really the options contract and what I'm comfortable with. I don't want to invest any more than $1 per contract, which is times $100 per contract. So anything below that, I'm willing to invest in. Anything above that, I would think twice. Now I have invested, $1.05 sometimes, depending on the opportunity. But my comfort zone really depends on the price of the options contract.
So many good questions. This is crazy. Here's another one. Casey again says, all in all, David's goal target per contract is $20 per contract, right? That's correct. Yep.
Yes, that's my target. That is, and I know I leave money on the table. Any trader that you talk to that's consistent leaves money on the table. It's really about your personal goal. And like I said, with IWM, I've noticed that I can get $15 to $20 per contract easily. So that's why I set my 20 as a permanent target, because I know I can get that, especially, if you're on the right side, obviously. But yeah, I've seen you can get that with no problem. So that's why my 20 is that. Now, that's my personal goal and it's worked out. But if you see that you can get maybe 25 or 30 and you can get that consistently, then that can be your goal as well. You can change that.
Pretty fantastic. All right, guys, any other questions? Like, we still have a bit of time here. It's been an hour. We'll take a few more questions.
An hour already?
Oh, wow, yeah, it goes fast, doesn't it? I know, it's crazy. Yeah. So I'll just give people a little bit more time to put in some questions here. I see a couple more coming in already, but let's give it a little bit of time.
So do I set a limit? No, it's not a limit. It's just a hard stop. It's a hard stop at 20.
Yeah, and Salem, these are all buy-side trades. They're all buying to open. There's no sell side going on.
No sell. No. Sorry. I think I may have maybe got that question wrong. I thought the question was, as far as like when I enter, is it a 20 sell limit stop, or is it just a hard stop? So maybe I read that wrong. But it's a hard stop.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen from Mark that 50 spread is I've seen it, especially when volatility was above 20. I've seen 20 volatility of 25, 30, and that spread of 50. I've seen a spread of 50. I think that's probably the most I've seen, but that is insane. You definitely don't want to touch the market then. Just sit on your hands and hopefully. And now I will say sometimes at cash open, it takes maybe a few seconds for the spread to even out. And I caught myself recording too when it was like 25 cent spread, and then maybe a second later it evened out. So it depends on your brokerage, I'm sure.
Yeah. So David, are you you're doing this in the space of 5 to 10 minutes every day?
Yeah. For them, I'm definitely done before 10 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what's appealing to a lot of people, but then they worry about the idea that, well, if it moves so fast, can I get in? And I think we're addressing that the best we can with this idea of potentially doing a voice channel where we just basically, you say, hey, I'm buying now, guys, kind of thing. I've seen that work really well in Discord, so it's pretty interesting. Casey's heading off for the night. Thanks, Casey. Hopefully you got some value from this. Mark's asked,
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit. Ever pull back?
Yeah, it should be back now.
Yeah. Well, I think my whole way of approach, my whole way of approaching the market is trend or counter trend, right? And it really depends on value and price, right? So if price matches value, then basically depending on when we open, then you're looking to continue with higher prices of that trend, up or down. But if value and price differ and you see that shift, then it's more you're looking for. Again, it depends on open, but then you're looking for a potential of a counter trend. So
Casey's asking a good question.
I'm sorry.
Can this be done on a laptop at work? Is what Casey's asking. I think the answer to that is absolutely yes.
Yeah. Not to give too much away, but yes, I actually do it sometimes when I'm at work as well. Which is basically Mondays and Wednesdays. Every other day I'm at home. So yeah, you can do it anywhere, especially where the platform that I use. It's a web-based. Again, it's called Go Charting. And I can put that in the link, or we can put that in the link to if you're interested in using it. But yeah, it's a web-based platform that as long as you have internet, you can use it.
Back to the market orders. So only market orders on open and close, correct? Question mark.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I'm sure when you got into the webinar, but yeah, I don't do limit orders only because I've missed a lot of great opportunities when the price of options didn't hit my limit. And obviously, the limit is the amount that you want to get into, that you're comfortable with entering the market. You can control that, and I've missed a lot of opportunities because of that. So I always use market orders just to get in when I feel like this is it.
Okay, so another good question, which lines up perfectly with what we have on the screen right now, is TK just joined. Can you give an example of a trade taken on Friday? Yeah, let's go over Friday's trade real fast. It should be pretty easy.
I think that's in the Discord, right? Yeah.
Here's the Discord. So this was the trade results at the end. So I'll scroll up here until we find the start of the commentary for the trade, which started at, let's see, probably 8:13, maybe a little earlier. Here we go, January 24th. So this was 25 minutes before market open, and you can see David, also known as Alexander. It's your last name, I think, right? Trade here. Yeah, good morning. Looks like we're trading balance of last session. So this is the start of what you get at 8:05 or 9:05. I'm in Central Time, so it shows it in Central Time. So you start to get some information that this far before the market opens. So just kind of showing.
Friday was a great one too. Friday was an amazing downside trend. Downside play, I'm sorry.
So this is 15 minutes before the open, and you're hearing what David's talking to himself about. He's
I asked those important questions because for one, it was taught to me, but it was kind of what I was saying at the beginning, how I approach the market. I look at the market as a store, and anything inside of that store is what you can trade, any item. So I'm asking myself, that item that I'm looking for, which is IWM, is it worth the current price? And other participants seeing the same thing, or do they see that is it worth that 228 or 229 price tag? And the arrow was showing that we were seeing evidence that other participants didn't think that IWM was worth 228, and we were seeing that shift. That's where the order flow comes in.
Perfect. So as we scroll down here, you see what else that subscribers received on that day. So we start to get towards open here. We're still not at the market open though, so you're still getting more information, updates from David.
Everything you see is what I put in my notebook, like I said, minus the screenshots, obviously. But this is exactly what I asked myself and what I go through.
And so here, about 5 to 10 minutes before the market opened, he's saying, I'm currently have the 229, 228, 227, 0 DTE IWM puts on the watch list with the 228s ready to play. So you're really getting a heads up here. It's not like this comes out of nowhere, you know. And here he goes. 1 minute after market opens, he entered the 228 puts at $33 per contract and very quickly took 75% off as this thing dropped. And the sellers really started to come in, taking them. And so you would have actually done, if you'd held longer, like say you'd gotten a bit later, but you'd held longer, you'd actually probably done better than David did.
Yeah, that thing dropped the first 5 minutes. I was surprised. The sellers really came in that day. I mean, and it's no way to really know how hard they're going to come in, whether to sell or buy. It just so happened Friday they came in pretty heavy. So yeah, you definitely would have did better than me for sure, because I definitely took my 20 cent and ran with it. Yeah, Russell, I'm not sure if you're talking about. There you go. Now you're coming back. I didn't know if you were saying anything or not, but you were cutting out.
No, there was a big delay there. It seemed to just kind of thing out. But did you guys basically get the gist of what I was showing there and kind of the example of the trade?
Yeah. Well, that part I think it came through clear because I was able to hear you.
Okay.
Anything you said after that, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I think it's been over an hour. Let's wrap it up. I'll post the links to join the Discord if you want to join for a quarter or for a month. Feel free to join. I think it's probably going to be one of the best Discords I've ever helped launch. So I'm really excited about it. I think
so too. That's amazing. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. I mean, when you messaged me, I was a little hesitant, but the more we talked, the more I got excited about it. So I'm definitely excited about it. It's very easy. Like I said, this is the stuff that I put in my notebook, so it's easy to share with you guys. And I'm excited for everybody who's willing to join. Let's try to do this together.
All right, so I'm going to post the links again in the chat, and then it'll be in the description below for you guys that are watching the replay. I'm sorry for tonight's internet connection for me. It's been very frustrating seeing that it's just not coming through as smoothly as I'd hoped, but it is what it is. Sometimes your internet doesn't behave, right? So
is it possible if I can answer one more question I see, because I think it's important?
Yeah, go for it. I'm in no rush to leave. I was just it looked like a natural point to wrap up, but if there's still questions coming in, absolutely, let's keep going.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good place to wrap up. But it was a question about the fee for Go charting. I think is important. So with Go charting, you will get the market profile, and I don't know if you heard me say earlier that I haven't seen a platform yet that sells or charges for market profile. But what they will charge for, which most platforms will charge for, is the order flow. That's the ability to look inside or open the door or pull the candle back to see the actual movement behind the candlestick. They will charge you for it. Go charting is very cheap. It's $20 a month for that information. And it's probably the best fee that I've ever seen in this real-time data. I've seen other platforms charge for $200 plus for the same data. So it's a web-based thing, the web-based platform. Web-based platforms have its quirks sometimes, but it's an amazing platform. And hopefully, Russell, if I can post the link after this, Mile, I would love to be able to do that.
Sure. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, questions are still coming in, so I'm still happy to keep going. I'm in no rush to get off. My babysitter just got back with the baby, so she's getting put.
Yeah, you're cutting out. I think but I think because of the maybe the internet issues, would probably be a good place to cut. I think we got some really great questions. I'm very happy to be able to share with you guys my method of trading, why I approach it, and hopefully you guys see some value in what I'm sharing. So.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'll put my email here. So Stock Alerts Reviewed, Stock Alerts Reviewed at protonmail.com. If you didn't get any of the links in the chat here, you can always email me there, and I'll send you the link to the landing page and to the Discord. Put you in touch with David, and we can kind of go from there. Hopefully, we can get some of you guys into this new Discord and see some good results.
Yeah, I'm laughing at one of the comments from Casey about the when the profits come in, maybe Russell sitting there.
It's weird. It's normally solid, but I do so many of these. Every so often, one will be horrendous, and I'll just cut out all the time. But yeah, Shane, there is a monthly. I'm not encouraging it just because a month is not as long a time frame as you'd expect. It's all have you. Oh, God.
Yeah, you're cutting out again, Russell. Yeah, I think this probably be a good time to close it. But I'm thank you so much for reaching out to me. I'm very excited about this, and again, I hope everyone who's listening will be looking at the recording, finds value, and it would be interested in joining us.
Yeah, definitely. I just posted the monthly link. I know I cut out my internet cut there. I posted the monthly link if you want to join month to month in the chat here, and all the links that you need to join will be in the description below. And thank you very much, David, for your time. It's been pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to working with you with this new Discord.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. I think the next time, if we do another Discord, let's see if we can do it a little earlier because at least on my side, it's pretty late. I don't know.
Yeah, it's getting on there for you. Yeah. Yeah, a little earlier works for me too. So yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for asking all the questions, and hopefully you guys join and come and join David and I and see what's going on inside IWM Alerts Discord. All right, have a good night.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.